guys, welcome back to Sports on the Go with Nato. Today is going to be very interesting because I'll be talking with my high school football captain. Introduce yourself.
My name is Chidera, Olalere, but everybody calls me Tara.
Okay, I don't call you Dara, sir.
No.
That's fine. Okay, so as some of you might know, I played defense on our school's football team, and Chidera also played defense. And we had these nicknames. We had Oreo, Blue Bunny, and Rocky Road, according to Operation Rocky Road.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really exciting. I mean, it was fun. I have some memories. So let's just get right into it. So can you tell us like your sporting journey, generally, briefly, your sporting journey?
To be very honest, it probably started with football, and then after that, I just wanted to try other things, and I was kind of figuring out what I like, what I don't like. So my mom was really big on table tennis. We tried a bit of that. Tried basketball, didn't really work out. Volleyball, a little. It was really just trying everything, seeing what came.
Yeah. So you used to swim, or at least you tried swimming. So like, why did you stop? What discouraged you from, really pursuing that sport?
So before, I used to swim for fun. And then because we had all those competitions in school, they would ask like all the swimmers to come and try to swim. And I probably had a lot of like traumatic competitive experiences. And I just like hated the whole, like, not like the competition itself, but when you're like choosing people for the competitions, it was always very clear where you stood. And I just felt like at some point it became very clear that I wasn't a very good swimmer, which I guess, I mean, if I really wanted to continue, that wouldn't have been a great reason to stop. But I was just losing love for the sport. And so I said I wouldn't swim competitively anymore. And somehow it just ended up being I wouldn't swim anymore. I don't think it's like I wouldn't swim now, but I wouldn't like actively
go into competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember the last inter-house swimming we had where I had to beg you to swim. And you didn't end up swimming, but like I was so happy that you actually were like, okay, yeah, you would swim. Like it really took it off me. So I have a
good things to do for Yellow House.
Anything for Yellow House. Okay, so football. What fascinated you about football?
I actually wasn't really fascinated about football at all. In primary school, I was convinced it was a blood sport, that like people would just get injured badly and that they would get paid to get injured badly. So I wasn't really a fan of the sport. It was only in Olalere where, because of like inter-house competitions, we had to have people to play. And that was probably the first time not the first time, but the first time I played football. And then it just became normal after a while. And then it went from normal to exciting to interesting to I would choose to do this all the time.
Okay. Do you miss our 5, 9, 7-a-side games between your Red House and all the fights and everything?
Honestly, I miss being so familiar with the people I'm playing with and like knowing their strengths. And because I think something I'm realizing now is that your relationship off the pitch actually affects your relationship on the pitch a lot.
Yeah.
And so I miss playing with people I'm already so familiar with. And I miss the house spirit and fighting with Red House and winning Red House for a year at least.
Yeah. The people that don't know what we're talking about, in school we had these competitions. So throughout the session, one term we would have 5-a-side, which means 5 players. So 4 players, 1 keeper. Then the next term we would have 7, which is 6 players, 1 keeper. And then the last term we'd have 9-a-side, which is 8 players, 1 keeper. And it used to bring a lot of drama for girls, for boys. It was a serious thing for us. Okay, so do you have any memorable game, practice, moment, anything that you say you will never forget?
Oh, I feel really bad. I can't remember like a specific moment, but I remember the feeling of like the ball coming, and then like one of the defenders, like you or passing it to me, and then somebody like shooting it out, just like that triangle, and being able to read each other's minds almost and anticipate where the ball is going to. That's what I really remember.
For me, I would say the most memorable time was, I can't remember, I think it was year 11, and it was 5-a-side, and we had reached the penalty point, and all 5 of us somehow scored, and it was so cool because it was just one person, and then Jennifer was just doing her thing, keeping red hot balls out of the post and everything. That was actually so cool. And we had powerful shots. I mean, if I say so myself, those shots were beautiful shots. Who would you say is your greatest support system?
Me? No, I can't say that. Sorry.
No, you can't. You can't.
No, like my family, my brother, they are my huge support system. Like being able to play where I play right now is mainly because of them. I think also just because of like school and stuff, I might have found excuses to stop playing football. I think they really encouraged me to keep going. The reason why I say we is because sometimes when it gets really stressful mentally, when I'm nervous or when I'm just not sure about how I'm playing, that's more of like a mental thing, but then it can affect how you actually play. Yeah. So it's just like encouraging myself, reminding myself that people make mistakes doesn't mean you're a horrible player, and you can still make up for your mistakes.
Great. So you play for the Scarborough Lady FC. So how did you find them, and how does it feel being the only girl of color playing in it?
So there's another girl in school who really loves to play football, and football wasn't a really big deal in our school last year. And so I'm not sure how she found out about the club, but she told me about it because she knew I was also interested in football. And then we got in contact with like the owners and the coaches, and then they told us to come over and see what it's like. And we came for a few practices last year, but we weren't really a part of the team. We were just kind of training with them. And then it was this year that we officially joined the team. And for being the only girl of color, honestly, I'm really grateful. Most of the time, I don't really feel that. I mean, I know I am, but beyond that, I don't really feel the weight of being the only girl of color. I guess that's the good thing about sports.
That's really nice. Yeah. Okay, so are you looking at any D1 schools or like planning to play professionally or in college? Are you looking at that?
I couldn't imagine myself playing professionally just because I want to study medicine. I want to go to university. I want to like study medicine, and I know how much time and effort that takes. So at the moment, I couldn't see myself going pro, but I would definitely like to play in college. Keep on playing in college for as long as I can.
Okay, so I mean, the little do you think the Nigerian Football Federation is doing its best to promote female soccer? Do you think that they're doing like all that they could possibly do to promote female footballers?
I love the way you said from the little I know, because it's very little. But from the little I know, no, I don't think so. I think generally all across the world, female football teams are not as publicized or promoted as boys, even though they might be doing better than the guys. And I'm pretty sure that's not any different in Nigeria, sadly.
I mean, really, it's not just football, it's everything.
Yeah.
The only sport that we can say they might just be doing as well is maybe swimming and athletics. Otherwise, really, all sports are suffering. All female athletes are suffering. Like the pay difference between male and female athletes is so huge. And it's not really anything we could do to fix it, because really they earn based on, audience, fan base and all those things. And really, because not enough support is put in there, there's no way that we can earn as much, which is really sad. And I really hope that people are, they're thinking of a way to fix that. So you did really well in school. Like, guys, she did really well. in school. And it wasn't just soccer she did. Like, Chidera is generally a very extracurricular, multi-purpose, what's the right word? Multitasker, that's the word. So how did you cope? Were there any times where you felt like giving up? How did you handle all the pressure?
I definitely felt like giving up at times. And I think now I probably feel like giving up more often than I ever have before. And I think one of the huge things for me is just realizing that you don't have to do it all. And if you're putting all this pressure on yourself to do things that you think people expect you to do, that you don't actually want to do anymore, then there's something wrong there. And so I think what got me through last year was the fact that all the things I was doing, so debate, football, dance, I legitimately wanted to do those things. And so it wasn't like anybody was forcing me to do them, and then that was stressing me out. So, I mean, at times, even when you're doing what you like, you might have to make tough decisions as to how far you can go with them. But I would say just make sure that you're not allowing other people to push you into activities or roles or positions that you don't actually want to hold, because it'll be really hard for you to convince yourself to keep going if you don't actually want to keep going.
Definitely. So, I mean, you were the captain of the team for, I think, how long? 2 years?
Yes. I think it was the last year that we were there.
Did we play in year 12? I mean, either way.
Not like year 12, I think it was year 11.
Okay. So, how did it feel, when they told you that you were the captain, and when we knew that there were specific people who just did not want to get that role? Like, how did it feel?
Honestly, that whole situation, I don't know when they started looking for a captain. And so when they told me, I think first I heard about like arguments about like who was going to be captain and who wasn't. And then they told me I was captain. I was like, oh, wow. Because I didn't even know that it was something that was happening. And I mean, it was always cool to have the like badge and go up and choose where to go. I think beyond that, and hopefully that's the reason why they chose me, I think beyond that, it was really just encouraging people and like assisting them and telling them what I can see and what I think they should be doing better. But I think as I watch my captain now, what separates a good player from a captain is that the captain is also encouraging people and supporting them and
carry people along.
Yeah.
I think you did a pretty good job generally. I mean, we could see the frustration at times, but I think you generally did a good job carrying everybody along. And the great thing was you accepted other people's opinions. Yeah. So if certain people were doing things that they weren't meant to be doing and stuff like that, it was good how we actually became more than just a team. Like, we became almost like a family where everybody's opinion mattered. So it wasn't just soccer anymore. It was like, guys, it was just carrying everybody along. And finally, what advice would you say you have to a little girl out there who wants to play a sport or hasn't even thought of the idea of playing a sport, but like wants to or wouldn't mind trying? Like, what advice would you say to her? Like, what advice do you have for her?
Sports are not just for boys, first off, and you'll never know if you try. Some people, I mean, generally, I think boys are actually pretty receptive to girls playing sports. I don't really, and I hope like boys aren't the problem. But I think a lot of the time, because of what we think will happen, girls don't even try. Like, we don't even go up to try because we just think we'll be accepted or we won't be supported. So those are valid concerns to have, like being concerned about not being supported. But you never know if you don't try that sport or activity. So try. And if you realize you don't like it, then always stop.
Yeah. Because, there are lots of people out there, and that support, honestly, is really something that we need to learn how to give ourselves. Because female athletes, we're looking for outside, external support. We may not be able to get it past our parents, maybe a few friends. So we need to be able to, support ourselves and, make good friends. That's another very good advice. Make good friends, people that you can rely on when things get tough. Because things will get tough. So yeah, and sports is not only for boys. That's like the most important thing. It's not only for boys. It's not only for boys. Even if it means while you're starting out, you're alone, eventually, even if it means you have to leave the country, you will eventually get to the point where your dreams will become a reality, and you just have to keep pushing.
Yeah, because there's so many girls that just don't want to be the first person to go in the midst of the boys. And so many of us are just waiting for that one person to start it first.
For that one person to start so that we can follow. Meanwhile, everybody's waiting for that one person.
Yeah.
Wow, it's amazing. But don't worry, eventually we'll get there. Girl power. Girl power. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Chidera, for joining me today. And I know this was a really nice conversation, and hopefully we'll get to have more. Maybe soon we'll plan a whole reunion for team, something like that.
Thank you
so much. Exactly, that would be like, I'm planning it. It's just, we'll see how it goes. But I'm planning it. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you to everyone who did to watch our videos on Instagram, Sports on the Go with Nato, for more updates on videos and posts. So enjoy the rest of your week, and do not forget to subscribe, like, comment, share our videos. And if you haven't watched our previous videos, go do that. And yeah, have a lovely week. Bye. Chidera, bye. How was your game? You guys lost.
It was so sad, Nato. So like this team we played, right? When I first heard about them, it was because we were about to play a team they had played in the past, and they had beaten that team either 7-0 or 14-0. I don't remember the story. It was bad. It was very, very bad. We beat that team, Sha. We beat them. And we're meant to play these Poppleton guys like since, but it kept getting delayed or cancelled, whatever. They said the game was this Saturday. Me, I was already scared, honestly, because on Thursday I had gotten like cramps in both of my legs, and I was like extra scared that like something had happened today. Then I was just nervous because they're a good team. And then we're talking today, and then some of the guys were like, they're good. One of them was like, but they're not as good as they are. And there's somebody else like, oh, but they're good. And then we started playing. We scored the first goal. They scored. We scored the second goal. They scored. And then we were just playing. And then in the last 2 minutes, they scored a goal. A painful goal. Because the keeper like touched it. And then it like... It was so sad.
Yeah. Actually, okay, but at least it wasn't like 7-0. When you started off 7-0, no. I was like, they beat you guys 7-0. 3-2.
At least.
Isn't bad. Is this like a league?
Yes. So both of us, like both teams, have been undefeated for this.
Okay.
And I remember one of the girls from the other team was like, have you guys never lost a match? And I was like, no. And she was like, I see why. Because it was a tough match on like both sides. It was a hard game. And I remember somebody was saying to me like, if we draw, it's 1 point each. If you win, it's 3 points. So I guess we're second in the league now, down by 3 points, I guess. So they actually need to lose a game. That's all we need. But yeah, it was sad. It was sad.